Hello everybody and welcome back to another video on my channel. In today's video we are going to be discussing the best legendary mods in 2026. Some of these mods have had a complete rework in the past couple of months, so we're going to be discussing those, and we're even going to be talking about a hidden 5-star legendary effect that you guys are definitely going to want to stick around to find out so you can take full potential of it. But with that said, guys, let's get right into the video. Alright, first things first, guys, let's talk about legendary mods in general. So, legendary mods are mods that you can put on different armor or weapons to get them to do different effects, such as pinpointers, which does additional damage to weak spots like the head or some other body part on different enemies within the game. These mods can definitely be a big game changer for you and help you guys stay alive, do more damage, and just overall have a better experience with inside the wasteland. So there's actually a couple ways to obtain the mods itself to put on your different weapons and armor to make them as strong as possible. One is by crafting them, which you can learn the crafting recipe by scrapping mods or by scrapping legendary items that have the mods on them. The other way is by just randomly getting a box mod when you scrap an item like a weapon or armor piece. So then once you get all the mods that you guys want, you can actually put them on any power armor or weapons, give or take, that you guys want to make them as strong as possible and fit your guys' playstyle. That is the reason why you see such high level players doing so much damage and staying alive at the same time. It's because they have these great pieces of armor with the best legendary mods on them. Now you might be thinking, well, what are these best legendary mods to use? Well, that's the point of the video. So let's get into that right now, guys. Let's talk about weapons first and foremost. So the best weapon mods, legendary mods, will be Furious, Quad, Two Shot, Crippling, Explosive, and VATS Optimized. We will talk about the 4-star in a second, and we will talk about the legendary 5-star that not many people know about in a second. But let's talk about these first and foremost. So first and foremost, let's talk about Furious. So Furious is an overall very useful mod. It does +5 to each onslaught, capping at 9. That is just an amazing legendary perk that will help you guys stay alive and do a crap ton of damage. It is probably the one that most people use. It is the safest one to use because it will always be doing so much damage, and you don't really have to worry about any perk cards alongside it. Yes, perk cards do help, but it does not determine the damage like other things. Next up, let's talk about Quad. Quad is another amazing one just because of how much ammo it gives you while shooting your weapon, which is a great mixture with the Bullet Storm perk card that the more bullets you shoot, the more damage you're doing. So you won't have to worry about reloading, and the longer you take until you reload, the more damage you will be doing. So at the end of your clip, you will be doing a crap ton of damage. Bullet Storm and Quad are very good for non-heavy weapons like the Elder's Mark, stuff that already doesn't have as much base magazine in it, so it will be very useful. The only downside is you will reload slower, but again, that is not going to matter because we do not want to reload until the game forces us to. AKA we do not have any ammo left. Now let's talk about potentially the best mod in this whole entire video, and that is the 2-shot mod. This mod is the best mod to use in the game right now. Not saying that the other ones before aren't as good, but for straight damage, you want to definitely be using this mod. The reason it is so good right now is because, unlike in previous seasons, it isn't doing 50% on the extra shot, it is doing close to 100%, if not 100%. So you are doing around 200% damage instead of around 150. Two-shot is the most used right now, and it works pretty good with the other ones that we are going to be talking about in just a second. So continuing on our conversation about the best mods, the next one we will be talking about is a very good paired alongside our two-shot, and that is actually explosive. So two-shot and explosive work super well together because of just how much damage they can output. Explosive weapons right now are super good. They are doing incredible damage, especially since you do not have to really aim, and you can tag every single enemy within a radius. It is just super nice to just shoot and not have to worry about aiming. So one of the things that you should use with explosive is Demolition Expert, which means that your explosives damage will do more. With the combination of both two-shot and explosive, you will be doing high quantities of damage no matter what level you are. So I suggest, if you are to pick any of these, I suggest to pick two-shot and explosive. The next legendary mod on our list is Crippling. Now Crippling is a very good legendary mod because of how much it does to cripple enemies. It does more limb damage, which means that they are going to be crippled faster, which is very handy while doing the snake fight in the raids. Not only is it super handy while fighting the snake in the raids, but it is just handy to cripple any enemy coming at you. If they are crippled and unable to move or do damage to you, then you can stay alive longer, and that's always so important, especially in some of these big boss fights and just fights around Appalachia. But yeah guys, Tormentor does help this per card a lot, so definitely if you're running Crippling, to make sure to have Tormentor on. Alright, now guys, I want to talk about the last legendary mod I suggest using for weapons. And that would be VATS Optimized. VATS Optimized is super handy just for having the cost of your VATS lowered. So that means you can be doing more VATS and hitting more times in VATS than previously with just a normal weapon. Additional to that, you can do more crits because of it. And the more crits you do, the more damage you will overall do. So it is very handy to have the additional, or the lowered VATS cost. It is super handy. It is super handy while taking on the snake, especially because you're going to want to do as many crits as you want while in the raids, and especially for the snake. So now let's talk about the best armor mods in Fallout. The first one we will talk about is Aristocrats, Overeaters, Unyielding, Powered, Through Hikers, and there's actually one more. It's Active. I do not have the ability to craft Active, but I will talk about that in a second. But these are the ones that I suggest using while running your armor. So with going into detail about Aristocrats, that has had a big change since this new season of Fallout. It used to be not as useful, now it is extremely useful. Now people are either using Aristocrats or Overeaters on their armor. It is that good. Aristocrats does do deflect damage, and it is a very strong deflect damage. The deflect damage is super useful for the Guardian in the first wave of the raids because of how it deflects its damage back at itself, which when its shield is up, that is the only way you can do damage while the shield is up, actually. But yeah, the only downside of having Aristocrats on is you have to constantly have a high caps amount on you. So if you are somebody who does not use caps all that often, and has a bunch all the time, then maybe you should think about using that. Or if you are somebody who likes to have spend all their caps, then maybe choose a different option. So the next one we will be talking about is Overeaters. And now if you've been playing Fallout for a little bit now, you will understand that this is the best mod for armor. As of recently, that is. Or if you're somebody new that's coming back, maybe you don't know. Well, Overeaters is super, super nice. But with the new update, it has gotten a few changes. It wouldn't say it's a nerf, I wouldn't say it's a buff, it is just changes to how it works. So now how Overeaters works is determined on how much your food and thirst meters are full, and it will give you health instead of defense. So you gain extra health, and your health meter will be higher while having this on. Which is, again, I wouldn't call it a nerf, I wouldn't call it a buff, it just changed. I still use Overeaters on every single piece of item or armor that I have because I still find it very useful for helping me stay alive and for helping me explore in the raids as well. So I suggest having both of those on if you have a raid build and a just normal day-to-day build. So I know in recent months and updates, the whole under low health builds have gotten a huge nerf, and they do not nearly provide as much defense and damage as they used to. But I still have Unyielding up here as one of the best, just because of how good it is for XP builds. If you want to make an XP build, you can't really do it without having Unyielding. It is just so perfect for all of the additional stats as your health lowers. But it is a very much so heavy dependent on your perk cards. So I will say if you are thinking about using an Unyielding build, or Unyielding on your armor, to definitely look into the perk cards first and foremost, because it will heavily determine that. If you do not have the right perk cards on, you will get destroyed by really any enemy, and you just won't have that fun of a time. I promise you, it's not ideal. But with all that said, it is still an amazing thing to use. Just how much special points additional it gives you as your health lowers. It makes it so you can carry more, you get more XP, your perception, you have more health, like everything inside of that makes it better. So that is why I have it here, because of how fun it is also to just be different. Not every build has to have the most damage, the most defense. Maybe it's just about how you guys play and how you guys have fun within the game. So the next mod we have that we will be talking about is Powered. Now, I personally think for 2 stars, there isn't many great options except for Powered. There is an argument that Intelligence 2-star would be pretty good, but that is also determined on if you are using an energy gun. But like I said, Powered is super useful because it helps your energy or your AP regen, which you need AP from running to using VATS and just about everything. Jumping, AP is super important. It is almost, I could say it is more important than health at points. If you run a jetpack, it is almost a mandatory thing to have on because of how much AP you run through while using your jetpack as well. I quite literally run Powered on every single one of my builds except for my energy weapon builds because of the intellect one. But yeah, guys, I strongly suggest to have this one as well on every single build. It is just so overpowered. The next mod we will be talking about is Through Hikers. Now, Through Hikers doesn't help your defense. It doesn't help your damage to do more per se, but it will help you have more weight and more perk cards. What Through Hikers does, it reduces your chem and food weight by 90%. So if you guys didn't use this, you would have to have at least 4 perk card slots taken up by that. So because you have through hikers on your armor, you have more potential to use in other spots, such as maybe bringing the big guns to do more damage with your Elder's Mark or whatever guns you are using. Through hikers is one of the only ones people have been using, except for the one we'll talk about next. But it is so nice to be able to have other options when it comes to your weight. The only point where through hikers does not take effectiveness is on the rage armor set, because you cannot change that 3-star, so you will not get the full 90%. And in that case, I suggest using this other option. Alright, now let's talk about the last mod that isn't a 4-star. Now this mod is, in my opinion, the best mod in the whole game when it comes to armor. So what this mod is it is active. All active does, it gives you more AP. So if you have a full set of this, you will get so much additional AP, which again is super useful when it comes to almost anything in Fallout. The more AP you have, the more VATS you can do, the more everything you can do around Appalachia. Now, I know some people will say that Through Hikers is better, and there is definitely an argument in my mind that Through Hikers has great potential. I just love how much AP I have whenever I'm running around. It is basically endless VATS if you play your cards right. The only downside to getting the active mods on your armor is that it is extremely rare. The only way to obtain it is by completing headhunts or grunt hunts. So by doing headhunts and grunt hunts, there is a chance that the armor that is dropped by the enemies will have the 3-star active mod on it. And then there is a small chance that you can get the box mod from scrapping the armor or having a chance to learn it. Now I have done over 300 headhunts on stream. I have still yet to learn how to craft that stupid thing. Everybody who has been watching me in the past knows that that is my biggest hater at the moment, is the stupid active. But I know we will get it someday, and I'm going to never give up on this stupid mod. I will achieve how to craft it at some point. So now we are going to talk about the 4 and 5-star legendary mods. The first ones we are going to talk about are the 4 stars. Now I do not have the ability to craft them, nor do I have the box mods for these, so I'm going to have to show you here. Pinpointers is one of the best, if not the best, for weapons. I use pinpointers on everything. Maybe polishers, maybe, but that is also very hard to use a lot of because you have to have your weapon durability up. As you can see, pinpointers does a 20% damage to the weak point. Now what is the weak point? That could be anything. It depends on the enemy, but most of the time it would be the head. So it would be doing more headshot damage. This is an amazing gun outside of the raids and inside the raids as well. The next 4-star mod that I suggest everybody using is right here, is Rangers. Rangers is an amazing mod that just does a point blank more damage. It does more damage to everything. Like, as you can see, ranged weapons deal 5% more damage, stack of 25, which means that you will do more damage as more of these are on your weapon, or on your armor, sorry. So this is another great option for your armor. Now the last option that I suggest using for the 4-star, the last option I suggest using is Limit Breakers. Limit Breakers is each worn armor piece reduced the cost of critical hits by 10%. So this is amazing, amazing if you are somebody who loves to do crits. You will be doing so many more crits by just wearing this, and it is one of the best pieces to use in all of the raids for that purpose alone. It will melt the snake if you guys use this correctly. And how to get all of these 4-star mods is actually kind of easy and kind of annoying. You can get them by completing raids and having a chance at them. To get pinpointers, you need to complete the first boss, so the Guardian. To get Rangers, you have to complete the 4th stage with the crystals. And to get Limit Breakers, you have to complete the Snake. So those are all the stages that you can find these box mods at. And of course, if you get them, you can scrap them for a chance to learn how to craft them. Now finally, for the moment you guys came here for, let's talk about this secret 5-star legendary effect. So, if you go into your weapons and see, you can see all of these effects. Now it says 4, but if you use Elder's Mark, Holy Fire, some of the other guns, you can see that there's an additional thing down here where it says Cursed. That does plus 35% damage and plus 15% attack speed. This is one of the most broken abilities right now in the game. Is all cursed items are so good. It's not just the Elder's Mark. It is the Holy Flamer and others. Basically anything that has the cursed effect on it is going to have an additional star. So maybe I don't have a 4-star, but I can put a 4-star on this cursed Holy Flamer, and then boom, it bumps it up to a 5-star. This is why everybody is looking for the Cursed Broadsider at the moment. The Cursed Broadsider is considered the best gun in all of Fallout right now, but it is super rare to obtain. And the Harpoon gun, the shovel from Earl, those are other great weapons to obtain because of the cursed effects. So guys, definitely take advantage of the cursed effect. It is so good, and it will help you guys so much while playing the game. But with that being said, guys, I think that's it for this video. I appreciate you guys hanging out for this long. If you guys have made it this long in the video, please let me know down in the comments. I'm very curious. If you guys think I missed anything, or you think that one mod is better than another, please let me know down in the comments too. I'm very curious on what your guys' opinions are on the game. Additionally, guys, definitely don't miss out on my giveaways on Twitch. I give away leader bobbleheads all the time, every hour, so you're definitely not going to want to miss those. And we also have an amazing giveaways up on my Discord, where some of my peeps in there are giving away glowing masks. I also think we have a 1,000 leader giveaway up in the Discord right now, so you're not going to want to miss that either. If you guys are interested in the Discord or Twitch or anything of mine, it will all be linked down below. But with that said, guys, I hope you all have an amazing rest of your day, and I hope to catch you guys next time. See ya!